What's up guys, welcome back. This right here is a 2023 Hyundai Sonata N Line. Now you might be thinking N Line is just the badging with a little bit more of a sportier look on the vehicle. And while that's true on some of the models like the Elantra and the Tucson, N Line on Sonata means business. And that means the more powerful engine and definitely a more performance vehicle. And today I'm going to take you on a complete tour of this vehicle. So we're going to check it out, exterior, interior, engine. At the end of this video, you're going to go on the ride together with me. By the way, I found this vehicle at Gettle Hyundai of Lakewood, Florida, so huge shout out to those guys. They allow me to spend some time with it and film it for you. Also guys, my name is Matt. Here on Matt the Carguy, I post 2 car reviews every single week, so if that's something you enjoy watching, do me a favor, check out the rest of my channel, consider subscribing, it really means a lot to me. And if you watch this video and like it, give me a thumbs up. Now let's get back to this. Well, check this out, guys. While Elantra N, right, which we've seen on this channel before, or the Kona N, on the exterior has like a completely all-out styling, different than anything else. On this Sonata N Line is definitely more toned down. If you didn't pay too close attention, you probably would mistake it by the regular SEL maybe. But let's check this out. In the front right here, you have a different grille. So you have this piano black grille. It's all open, allowing for the maximum airflow into this engine compartment to help with cooling of this definitely more powerful engine that powers this up. You have the N Line badging, and yes, you do have some of the performance looking bottom portion of this bumper. Also, this front fascia right here, this is all open, allowing more air, and the side skirts are open again to create that better airflow for better aerodynamics. Same lights as you've seen on the limited model, so they're fully LED lights, daytime running lights that go right here. Also, this light strip over here lights up and then continues as a chrome trim basically all around the window. So we're going to see that on the side of this vehicle. As far as the hood, nothing too crazy. You have this little bit of a raise in the middle over here and 2 body lines on both sides. So there you have it. This is your front of it. Now, what's definitely different is the heart of this vehicle. So let's pop the hood open and let's see what it is. And here it is, a 2.5 liter turbocharged engine, 290 horsepower, 311 pound-feet of torque. Now this is mated to an N 8-speed automatic transmission with dual clutch automatic transmission that is capable of shooting this vehicle 0 to 60 in about 5.3 seconds. I like this engine setup. Now the new Genesis G70 also has the same engine, but it costs a lot more than this Sonata. So let's check this out. I like the hood struts on both sides. You also have a little bit of a heat shield right here for better heat insulation, and also a noise shield for better sound dampening of this vehicle. So it should make for a nice and quiet ride. Well guys, on the outside we're gonna do a vision check first. So what color is this car? Well, if you said black, you would be wrong. It's actually called a carbon blue. And when you really look at it, and especially like right now, when the sun hitting it just right, you can see the hints of blue, a little bit of purple, but it changes. Like if it's dark and cloudy, it actually looks pitch black. So it's a very interesting color. But let's see the setup on the side. There's only a few features that kind of says that it's an N line. One of them is right here. It does says N line on the fender. The other one is you have the N logo as a center cap right in the middle of this wheel. Now this is an exclusive for the N line wheel, 19 inch as far as the size of the tires. First of all, this is the Pirelli P0 tires, and you have 245 by 40. That's the size of it. Now you have a little bit more of an aggressive bumper in the front with this air intake, like the air damp over here, and a little bit more aggressive side skirt, but that's about it. There's nothing else that's different, let's say, from the Sonata SEL. Now this piece right here, which is the trim, it starts off as a light and then continues as a chrome trim that wraps around the windows, look really nice. Then as far as the mirror setup, you have the same color as the rest of the vehicle. You have the turn signal, blind spot assist. You do have the smart entry in the vehicle. As you can see, the mirrors are blinking over here, the blinkers. And then if I put my hand inside of it, it's gonna unlock this vehicle. So overall, you know, it looks very much the same as all of the other Sonatas. Let's see it from the back. All right, let's check it out from the back. Again, it looks the same as most of the other Sonatas, with the exception of this lower part of the rear bumper. So you can see that there is a diffuser, dual exhaust on both sides, really nice and sporty. Then you have the reverse lights as well as the reflector lights over here. Everything up on top, same as the regular Sonata, but I do like it. Starts off with this shark fin antenna, nice sloped glass over here, almost like floating into this trunk that has this built-in trunk spoiler, and that connects these kind of extending lights on both sides. Fully LED light setup. Now you have this light bar over here that glows in the dark. You do have the Hyundai logo Sonata right here and the rear view camera. Now let's pop the trunk open and let's see how much room we have. All we have to do is press the button on the remote and it opens up. It is not a power trunk, however, because you actually have to close it manually. On the inside, we can see a couple things. Right away, I can see a tire mobility kit, and that tells me that it doesn't have a spare tire. Now, you also have the first aid kit, set of floor mats, and the mat for the back. And these are all accessories, well, of course, with the exception of the tire mobility kit. Underneath the main floor, you have a little bit more storage. That's normally where the spare tire would be. And then looking inside this trunk, you see this pass-through into the passenger compartment. It is a 60-40 split, and the seats can be released using the levers on both sides. It does have plenty of room on the inside, especially in the back seat. Now I have this seat, the front seat, adjusted to my regular driving position. I am 6 feet tall and I like to drive comfortably, and I'm still not touching my knees to the back of this seat, which is very important. Also, you know, as far as the shoulder room, no question, I have plenty of shoulder room as long as there's 2 people sitting in the back, not 3. And as far as the headroom, I have about maybe 2 inches, maybe just a little bit less above my head. Now, mind it that this vehicle does have the panoramic sunroof, so it's going to take a little bit of that headroom off. So if you were much taller, you might want to opt in for the one that doesn't have it. Well, the interior looks very premium and sporty. Let's check this out. As always, starting with the rear door panel over here. So what do we have? So we have some soft plastic right on the top. Then you have this leather wrapped inlay, as well as the armrest slash the door handle over here. Now to open the door, you have this really good looking door handle, and that is kind of this smoked chrome that you see all over this vehicle. Now you also have the contrast stitching in red, which you know, it's nice and sporty. Non-branded speaker in the back, but I'm going to tell you what the speakers are when we get to the front. A little bit more storage. Now when you look at the interior itself, check this out, because I really like the way they designed it. So you have several different materials on it. You do have leather, and you do have the suede, really nice sporty look. And then 2 people can sit in comfortably. The third one, well, I would probably just open this up so the third person wouldn't sit, and then you'd have this nice console, nice armrest with the cup holders. Now what else do we have? In the back of the passenger seat, you have the cargo net, and then you have in this middle console, you have the vents for the AC, as well as you have the USB Type A port. Now you do have a slight bump in the middle of the floor, so keep that in mind, and no netting in the back of the driver's seat. And before we get on the inside of this vehicle, let's hear how the doors sound when you close it. Boom. Nice and solid thumb. It's really a measure of quality in my book. So let's check out the front door panel, and the speakers are branded here. So those are Bose speakers. So it does have the Bose stereo system. It does have the regular window mirror locks control, etc. Same trim as on the back door. More storage right over here in the front door panel. And check this out. Now, I'd like to see like an N emblem on the dorsal, but you don't see it. Now, the driver's seat is power adjusted, and you have several adjustments to do that. As far as the passenger, you still have the regular manual adjustments. Before I show you the seats, let's check out the pedals over here. Nice and sporty, aluminum with rubber. And then the steering wheel is tilt and telescoping. It is a manual adjustment. So let's check out the seats. I like them. They're really nice. They're contoured. Now, you might think that they are uncomfortable because of the way they look, but actually I've sat in it. I drove this car. It feels really, really nice. They're wide enough. And check this out. I like this N emblem over here. That's suede. Now you have this red tubing over here, red stitching. So really cool design. Well, let's jump inside and let's see what else we can find. So first things first, let's get this vehicle started. All right, there is a start-stop button over here. Boom, it does make some noises. Okay, this is the sounds of nature, which we're gonna turn off right now. I don't need to hear this. And I'm gonna show you a little bit of this interior, actually all of it. So let's check this out. Starting over here, I like this dashboard. It's nicely kind of leather wrapped. It does have this red contrast stitching, the same trim as we've seen on the door panels. And right over here, you even have this soft plastic. Now, the hard plastic, of course, is the glove box, but that is what you find pretty much in all of the other cars. Vents, you know, one on the side, two in the middle, and one on the other side, and then you have two screens. Now, this one is the smaller one. This is the 10.25-inch screen, and then you have the 12-inch instrument cluster. So let's start with the steering wheel and see what we have. So N logo right at the bottom of the steering wheel. It's not flat bottom, it's actually all round steering wheel. It's nice to the touch, it fits good, it does have the leather wrapping, it does have the contrast stitching, and while we're here I'm going to show you it does have the pedal shifters in the back as well. Bunch of buttons on both sides. On this side you have the mode button, which is customizable, phone pickup, phone hang up, then you have the voice control volume mute button, up and down, as well as over here you have the pages button, as I call them, and then that controls what's going on in the middle of this instrument cluster. Cruise control, you know, this is adjustments for the cruise control, dynamic cruise control, lane keep assist, and then again the select button over here. So if you're looking at the instrument cluster, first thing first, let's check out how it changes when you change the drive modes over here. So there you go. Now I have Sport, Sport Plus, Custom, which we can customize in the settings of this vehicle, and Normal, which is what we were in. So let's set it up to Sport Plus before I forget it. It turns off the traction control, kind of tightens up the steering, tightens up the feel overall of the vehicle. What it doesn't do is it doesn't change the sound of it, which I wish it did. But let's see what we have. On the left hand side you have a speedometer, right hand side tachometer, at the bottom you have the temperature, range, miles per gallon, which says 9.4, which is absolutely not true. We're going to talk about it in just a little bit. And then 19 miles to empty, 85 degrees outside, and we are almost in November right here in Florida. So let's check this out. In the middle, using the pages button, I can select different screens. So there's a gauges screen, and that tells me the temperature of oil temperature, or actually the turbo PSI, and then the torque. And then what else we have? Lane keep assist, then we have the compass and the trip. Now also you have the attention level, tire pressure, and you can actually add content. So let's see if we can add something from here. Driver assistance settings, that's it. so not too much. Okay, so this is what we have as far as the instrument cluster. Let's move on to the infotainment system. Now this is the infotainment system that we've seen at many other Hyundai models before. So let's go back to the home screen, and this looks probably very familiar if you watched any of the newer Hyundai videos. Now this is the 10.25 inch screen. So Hyundai changed that a little bit. They used to have this software only in the largest screen. Now they, updated the base screen from 8 to 10.25, and now you have this software on the 10.25 inch screen. The hard buttons, or actually they're still like touch buttons, but they're actually on the bezel, are map, navigation, custom. Here's your volume and power knob, and then on the other side you have radio, media, seek, track, and setup. Now as far as the navigation menu, set it up, different options. Search, POI categories, site, places, traffic, it's really important. It's actually very accurate on the Hyundais. And map, here's how the map looks like. So nice, bright, takes up the entire screen. And if you didn't want to take the entire screen, you can make it so it takes up only 2/3 of the screen. Well, let's go back to the main menu, and you have phone projection. So to use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, you still need to use an approved USB cable. So I wish they made it wireless. Climate, this is climate control settings, not the actual climate controls. So you can't actually control it through here, up and down temperature. These are basically just the display. What you do is control it through here, and then it can change up on top here. So we can do it that way too. Back to the home screen, you have the valet mode, HD radio data, radio, media. Okay, you've already heard the Experience the Universe, which is part of the Sounds of Nature, and this is a new sound for 2023, but let's enjoy this in this Bose stereo. Alright, so several different Sounds of Natures are available. They took some away, they added some. Now here's your setup button over here, and you can do the vehicle setup. That's where we're gonna be able to change that custom drive mode. So you see the custom drive mode over here, and then you can select powertrain, normal, steering normal, stability control normal. You can change that to sport or sport plus if you want it, and you can do it for all of the other options as well. So active sound design, let's do the largest change, because there you go. Maybe that's where we're gonna hear a little bit more of that engine sound inside cluster. So different vehicle settings, climate control, again, different climate control settings, etc. So it's a pretty comprehensive system as far as the different features that you have in it. The other things that you can do, you can customize the buttons, and we're referring to the button on the steering wheel, we're referring to the button right here as far as the favorites button. So go back to the home screen, and this is basically what it looks like when it's in that first screen. One other thing to see is the climate control, which is another screen below here, and as you can see it's a dual zone climate control. So you have the different settings for the driver and passenger. Hard buttons over here, this is for your heated seats, different fan speeds, different vent modes, and then you have hard buttons to turn it off, front window defogger, rear window defroster, and then you have the air recirculating button and AC. Right below that you'll find your power center. So you have two USB, one for data, one for charging, the regular 12-volt power adapter, and this pad right here is for your wireless charging. You do have a touch button transmission. Some people like it, some people don't. It doesn't bother me one bit. I actually think that it is pretty cool, especially when it's lifted up like this. It does have the N logo over here. And since I haven't showed you the rear view camera, let's press the reverse button and see what it looks like. So A, it doesn't take the entire screen, which is a minus. Well, B, it only has two different angles, okay, which is a minus. But let's look at the pluses. The quality of it is actually pretty good. It's not the best, but it's better than a lot of other competitors. So that's the rear view camera. Let's move on to the drive modes. We already covered that, and see what I have. This is where you change it. Auto hold button, this is for your brakes, and we have like 3 blank buttons, so I guess there's some other features that are available. So you have the cup holders, a little bit more storage, and moving up over here to the console, you have your sunroof control, which, by the way, this is a panoramic sunroof, one touch operation. You can see 2 panels. The rear panel over there is basically stationary, and the front panel is moving. Nice windscreen, and one touch operation. Again, you can close the entire sunroof, as well as this non-transparent cover, regular mirror. You have the home link assist, and over here you have the blue link, you have the SOS button, and then you have your LED lights. Okay, illuminated mirrors, okay, for the driver and passenger. And this is the interior of this 2023 Sonata N. Now let's see how it drives. Guys, the vehicle is running. We're ready to take it for a spin, but before we do it, as always, let's take a look at a couple different options. Well, let's first of all take a look at the trims that are available, and there are 5 of them. So you have the Sonata SE, and that's the starting model of it, then SEL, SEL Plus, N Line, and the Limited. So that's where the N Line falls into the lineup. It's right between the SEL Plus and the Limited. What's worth to mention, and very important, that this is the only Sonata with this powertrain that we have. So a lot more powerful, you know, different design on the outside, a lot more sporty, and you know, the starting point of it is just under $35,000. So when you look at the N Line, you know, it says that it starts at $34,323, and I have the sticker for this vehicle right here, and that is true, with the added equipment, which is only carpeted floor mats, cargo tray, first aid kit, and mud guards. And destination total MSRP for this vehicle is $35,875. Again, I don't sell those cars, guys. I don't know what the real price is, whether it's above or below that. Now, you'd have to contact the dealerships, and for that, I'm going to put a link in the description of the video and the phone number. So if you're anywhere in Florida, you can call these guys up and see what you can get it for. Now, as far as the gas mileage, we didn't touch on that. 23 in the city, 33 on the expressway, 27 is the combined fuel economy on it. Now, this is the time that I like the most, and that is to drive this vehicle. So first things first, we're gonna check it out and see of how this vehicle turns. So I like to do a complete 360-degree turn, and I like to use parking spaces basically as my meter to how many parking spaces does it take to turn this vehicle completely around. I can't talk apparently. So steering wheel all the way to the left, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Just touching 4 as far as the parking spaces, so not too bad. Now, it is obviously not as tight as some of the more compact SUVs, but for the wheelbase and for the length of this vehicle, it definitely is pretty good. You sit comfortably. As I mentioned, the seats are contoured, but they're not very narrow, they're not too aggressive, so they're kind of a combination between the sport and comfort. And this is a performance vehicle, so once we get it up on the road, I have a place when there's a piece of road that's pretty much empty all the time. So we're going to check out the acceleration on it, but also the regular everyday use of this vehicle, how it would feel, you know, to drive it, let's say, on your daily commute. We can feel it's torquey. It really is. As soon as you push that accelerator, it responds right away. So there's really no turbo lag unless it's from the stop, from what I'm hearing. Now, I haven't really tested out the 0 to 60 acceleration, and we're going to try to do that very shortly. One thing to also check out, we're in the Sport Plus mode, and for some reason we set it up to the manual mode, so let's take it off. But what I want to do is the body roll, okay? So let's see, do we have any extensive body roll over here? No, it's actually pretty solid. It's a pretty stiff design, especially when it tightens up for this Sport Plus mode. So since we have it here, two things to do. One is to stop this vehicle, nice open stretch of road, and what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna put it in drive, make sure we're in the Sport Plus mode. I'm gonna do the 2-pedal driving, boost it up a little bit, and then let it go. I gotta tell you, oh yes, this is very nice. So a chirping tire is a happy tire, but you know, it does have, obviously we turned off the traction control so you could hear a lot of that tire spin in there, but you know, the power is there and it's almost instant. I didn't feel any of the turbo lag. Yeah, it is very torquey, and with the front wheel drive you can definitely feel that. Now maybe if we had a little bit stickier tires it would be a little bit better. Now this was not a full launch control. This said that the launch conditions were not met, so I mean, but it was substantial, it was very quick, and it was fun. So with the design of this vehicle, that's not like overly aggressive on the outside. Yes, you have a little bit different front grille and fascia and the rear bumper and the side skirt and a few badges on the side, but it's not like the Elantra N where, you know, you have this red stripe underneath the vehicle and, you know, it definitely looks different, bigger spoiler in the back, etc. This one is definitely a lot more toned down version. That's almost like a sleeper vehicle, if you know what I mean, as far as that, meaning that the vehicle looks just like the regular next model down, but it does have a lot more power. A lot of people enjoy that. Let's do a 180 here, and I'm gonna flip it into the regular comfort mode, normal mode what they call it, and see how this vehicle reacts to that. Now we're not going to do a launch control or anything like this, but I'm just going to do a quick acceleration here, and definitely, I mean, you can hear this transmission shifting, so no complaints about this 8-speed dual clutch transmission. Nice, crisp, you know, with the dual clutch means that the next gear is already engaged and waiting, so it's a lot quicker shift. Some people complain about the dual clutch transmission, say they don't like the way they shift. To me, it doesn't really make, well, a huge difference, I mean, between the regular and this dual clutch transmission, and I actually I like it. I like how fast it is to switch it. So again, a very positive experience as far as driving this vehicle. I think Hyundai again did a nice job. Now it's a little bit confusing because this is still considered an N line, so is an N coming? Now is it going to be something maybe with the Stinger engine, or maybe it's going to be, well, the Genesis, the 6-cylinder? That's a good question. Now, of course, there are rumors, but I don't know. Unless it's officially released, we wouldn't know. But we're gonna definitely keep our eyes open on that and make sure I'm gonna bring you all the latest information on the newest vehicles. And with that said, guys, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate you being here and watching this video. If you liked it, do me a favor and hit me up with the thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, consider subscribing. Check it out. I post 2 car reviews every single week, and there's a little bit for everybody, you know, anywhere from the basic vehicles to sport performance cars or off-roaders, stuff like this. So if you like watching videos like this, check out the rest of my channel. Hit that subscribe button, really means a lot to me, doesn't really cost you anything. And with that said, I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.